Hello, everybody. This is Lucas Skinner. On today's episode, we interviewed one of the greatest college players of all time, Christian Laettner. He's a two-time NCAA champion. He's the only player in college history to play in 4 Final Fours, and he's a one-time NBA All-Star. Thank you for listening.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Christian. Good morning. This is Christian Sovereign. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with my friend and podcast partner, Lucas Skinner.
Hello, this is Luke.
Okay, Christian, I'm ready. Let's get it done.
All right. So the first question I have for you is one about your life growing up, and I understand that you're from a small town growing up, so I'd like to know what your life was like at an early age and how that helped you become the player that you became.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my life growing up was awesome. Yes, I lived in a small town, so I lived a small town life growing up. My father was the coach, the baseball and the basketball coach at the local elementary school, and my mother was a teacher at the local elementary school. So as I've been learning over the last 10 years of doing my basketball camp across the country and hitting a lot of small towns, I realized that some parents, are also the coaches and the principals and the teachers, in their local school. And that's exactly how it was in my life growing up, with my parents very involved in my early education and my early sporting life, playing baseball and basketball. My father coached both of our teams, baseball and basketball. So we were very involved in the church and very involved in our school, and pancake breakfasts on Saturday mornings and baked good sales on Sundays after church. So all that type of stuff that I still see when I'm up doing camps in Wisconsin and Minnesota and South Dakota and places like that.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that a lot of people in small towns can definitely relate to, and something that people wouldn't really expect a lot from an NBA player.
So obviously, I know you can speak.
Maybe that's because they don't know the whole backstory, and there's a lot of NBA players that come from small towns where their father was the coach, and that's how it is a lot of times.
So obviously, I think a lot of people regard you as one of the greatest college players of all time. Obviously, you went to Duke and played for Coach K, so I was wondering, what is it like to play for a coach as great as Coach K?
It's awesome. The way I grew up playing basketball and the way my father taught me how to play the game lined up exactly with how Coach K teaches the game and coaches the game and has his teams play for him over the last 40 years. I recognized that when I was in high school. I was like, gee, this guy, his teams play exactly like the way my father taught me. So why don't go there and play for him, because it'll be an easy transition in terms of learning how he runs his offense and how he plays his defense. So it was just a perfect fit for me, and it was the greatest experience ever to play for him for 4 years and to go in 4 straight Final Fours.
Yeah, for sure. Going to 4 straight Final Fours is definitely a super impressive task, as I believe you're the only player to ever do so. Obviously, one of the biggest moments of your college career is when you hit the shot against Kentucky in 1992. Would you just like to explain what your emotions were like throughout the whole, like leading up to the play and as you shot the shot, and maybe even afterwards?
Well, the biggest 2 emotions I was feeling during the Kentucky game was fear, because I thought they could beat us. They were such a high-scoring offense, such a high-powered offense, that I was a little afraid of them beating us. There wasn't many times in my senior year where the opponent put fear in me, because we were a very, very good team with Bobby Hurley and Grant Hill and Thomas Hill on the team. But playing against Kentucky, that was scary, because they were a team that could score 110 points easily, and that could beat us. So the biggest emotion was probably fear, and then the second biggest emotion is I don't want to lose. I don't want this to be my last game wearing a Duke uniform and playing for Coach K. So I think those 2 feelings really put me over the hump in terms of focusing during the entire game and trying to play my best game.
For sure. Sounds like you definitely had some good motivation to lead you up to the shot and some good confidence.
Something that I was wondering about with your NBA career was you had the opportunity to play with Michael Jordan. And not only did you get to play with him on the Dream Team, as many know, but you also got to play with him on the Washington Wizards. So that had to be a really cool experience to be able to play with arguably the greatest player of all time. So I'd like to hear maybe like what it was like to play with him and what some practices were like and what he brought to the Washington Wizards when he was playing with you.
Well, on the Dream Team, it was awesome because I was the lowly rookie, and they didn't treat me very well, but it was a lot of fun. And, Jordan would sit on the back of the bus on the Dream Team, and he'd make fun of me and say Duke stinks and Carolina's the greatest. And then we'd go out on the practice court, and I'd, say, please play one-on-one with me. And he couldn't do it very often because he always had media commitments and other stuff, and he didn't want to beat up on the young kids too much. So I only played one-on-one with him maybe for a minute or two. And then when he was 40 and I was a little younger and we're on the Wizards together, I wish I could have played with him more. There was times where I was not out there on the court, and I wish I would have been able to play with him more. But he was still doing incredible things when he was 40. I think he scored 40 points when he was 40. So still a very impressive player when we were on the Wizards together.
Yeah, for sure. That had to be a really cool experience to be able to play with Michael, and it just had to be really fun and exciting.
So, since you were a big man that could shoot the ball, I was wondering, how do you think your game would translate to today's NBA with all the shots that are being put up from deeper ranges than maybe the time you were playing? Maybe you were a bit ahead of your time.
It would be a lot of fun. It doesn't matter how the game's being played right now. I still wish I could be out there playing. I would give almost anything to be 28, 30 years old and still in the NBA playing. It's just the greatest life, the greatest profession. And it's so much fun to be out there on the court playing 5-on-5 against the greatest basketball players and the greatest athletes in the world, and in front of 20,000 fans every night. So, boy, do I ever miss it, and I wish I could still do it.
For sure. So, saying how much you miss the NBA, I was wondering, thinking back to your playing days, some of the favorite players to play against or like best players you played against in your career.
When you play in the NBA for 13 years at the power forward or the center position, you're going to go against a lot of great guys. But Karl Malone was very unique. Kevin Garnett was very unique. Anytime Garnett was guarding me and I was able to score even one bucket against him, I thought I was the ruler of the world because he's just the best defensive player I ever played against. And then with Karl Malone, when you're playing against him, if you can keep him under 20 points, it was a miracle.
For sure. So you made the All-Star game one time in your career in the 1997 season when you were on the Atlanta Hawks. I was wondering what the All-Star experience is like being a player and not just a fan watching.
The All-Star experience was awesome. It was a lot like being on the Dream Team, just with the best players that year. And I got to be on an All-Star team with Grant Hill, and geez, it was a lot of fun. And we won the All-Star game, so that was awesome. And I was able to play again with Jordan and Pippen and Grant Hill. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that had to be a really cool experience to be able to play with the NBA's best, and all the things going on in All-Star Weekend had to be a very cool experience. I was wondering personally if you watching today's NBA, I would like to know if you see any player in the league that reminds you of yourself and how he plays and his play style.
No, I don't watch it that much because it hurts. It hurts to watch it because I wish I could still be doing it. So But I see a little bit. I'm always really impressed with the Greek Freak, and I'm always really impressed with, Davis on the Lakers. He's just, and then Karl Anthony Towns. Any of the guys that are 6'10", 6'11", Cat, who plays for the Timberwolves right now, he's just very impressive. So, but I enjoy watching the Greek Freak, and I'm gonna really enjoy watching Zion play when he comes back. I hope he can stay healthy.
Yeah, for sure. They're amazing players to watch, and I can see why you appreciate their games. Another question for me was to go along with that. Luke asked you previously who your favorite players to play against were. I was wondering who your favorite players to play with were. Like if anyone just really amazed you while you played with them, or like someone that you just really enjoyed playing with as a teammate.
Yeah, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, John Stockton. When I was on the Dream Team, all I had to do was run around and keep my hands up, ready to catch a ball, and those three guys would just throw the sweetest, slickest, quickest pass to me, where I just had to catch it and lay it in right underneath the bucket. So I always loved playing with guards and players who loved to pass. That's why Bobby Hurley was awesome. I had a great point guard in high school, so playing with those guys in the league was awesome too.
Like you spoke about scoring on players like Kevin Garnett, and then talking about how much fun it was to play with the players on the Dream Team. I was wondering if there are any memorable moments from when you maybe scored on those Dream Team players, maybe for the first time, and just what was going through your mind, like being able to play with these guys and potentially scoring on them or stopping them on defense, or just being able to build a chemistry with the players on the Dream Team.
Well, I never really scored on them, like I told you guys. I just had to stand under the bucket and be ready to catch the ball, because on the Dream Team, those guys were ignoring me. They were really playing 5-on-4, and they were just leaving me alone. So I just had to stay open and get my hands ready and catch the ball and lay it in.
For sure. It's always good when players know how to play their role.
So you're coming to YCHS in April. I was wondering if you could maybe give us a little bit of detail on what you plan to be doing and things that way.
Yes, I'm coming again. Aaron invited me again because he knows I love doing it, and I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, which is emphasize the finer details of the fundamentals of the game and have fun and let the kids play a little 5-on-5. And when they're doing that, I'm going to tell them don't dribble so much. Challenge them to play 5-on-5 without dribbling, which is always a good exercise. So that's what I'm going to do, just like I did last time, and we're going to have fun, and I can't wait to come on up. I'm going to go to the Final Four, and then 2 weeks after that, I'll be with you guys.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, for sure. We can't wait to see you in April. It's definitely an awesome experience being able to interview you, and I personally I wasn't here the first time you came, so it'll be a pleasure to meet you when you do come in April.
All right, fellas. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.